Hey.
Hello again, everybody.
Oh, Harry! Oh, yeah, Harry!
You know, there comes a time when you probably ought to stop broadcasting. I probably should have quit about 5 years before I passed.
I think we should have quit about 20 years ago.
That's okay. I've been listening since 10. I can't make anything out of it.
What am I accountant? What do I know? We only deal in truth here.
Oh, my God. What world am I living in? Scott Barter's making me laugh.
Don't you feel a little stupid? Go over there this afternoon. Throw your worm in the water. See how that works out.
Throw your worm in the water means something different in Los Angeles.
Well, it means about the same thing here in Kenosha. Wow. Things haven't changed.
That's what I'm saying. I can't make heads or tails which part is which.
Was a virgin sacrifice?
Not that I recall. We couldn't find one.
And not in Kenosha anyway, right?
Get through what you got to get through, Scott.
This program is a real challenge.
Good morning, everybody. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the May 26th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live from Studio A here at AM 1050 WLIP on this glorious Memorial Day weekend, streaming worldwide and booming across the gorgeous sun-drenched cornfields of the Midwest, reaching out to over 1.4 million listeners residing here in the Tri-County area. Being brought this morning by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and Barter's Financial Planning Services, along with a host of other very fine local businesses. With us this morning, my personal relationship advisor, who will also be challenging Donald Trump for the coveted Nobel Peace Prize. Elmo Schneider's in the house. Elmo,
Good morning.
what's new in your world today?
Peace Prize. Peace of what is the question?
Yeah, that's P-I-E-C.
No, P-E-A-C-E.
Well,
wrong piece. Yeah, I know. Just a little clarification.
He's a Nobel Peace Prize winner.
You know, it's always amazing. I always thought, Alfred Nobel was a guy that invented dynamite, and they have a Peace Prize named after him. So,
well, we should change this to Corbell Peace Prize.
That's K-Dog's thing.
Oh.
So, all right.
And as is every Saturday, our video coordinator, the love doctor, Spider Ronnie, the camera dude, joins us here at Camp Happy Face.
I changed my name for the summer months.
What to what?
Pool boy / cabana boy.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Rub my bunions.
Pool boy / cabana boy. Who are you cabanning?
Whoever stops by.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
He lost his headphones.
Elmo,
He's so excited he lost his headphones. What a cabana boy!
Yeah.
Woohoo!
do you wear sandals and shower thongs and tongs? And
Yep.
Elmo, take a memo, cross his address off our list.
No photographs,
No
please.
photographs, yeah.
God.
And engineering and board operating the Kenosha State Trolley Ride this morning on his way to becoming named the husband of the year. Wacky Wayne is here.
Oh, Wayne.
Boy, all you
Couldn't
guys
stay
with
away.
titles.
Yeah.
You know, Nobel Peace Prize or Corbell Peace Prize winners.
Right.
And
The Love Doctor or
Cabana Boy and Husband of the Year.
Yeah.
Mama up and running yet?
I got to get myself a title.
No, she can actually start putting weight on it starting now. So another month, and then we go back, and hopefully she'll be out of the boot into a shoe, able to drive.
Boy, your
Yada, yada.
yard must be, since nobody's cutting it,
it's
must
a
be
jungle. It's a jungle out there.
Actually, Wayne, I ran into a friend of mine last Saturday night who broke his ankle getting down off a ladder. But he was the same thing, waiting for the swelling to go down before they could do surgery and put a
Right.
plate and a whole bunch of pins in his ankle.
The pins, the screws, wait for the
See,
swelling to
that's,
go down.
that's my problem. I'm waiting for, my head, my brain,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the swelling to go down before they put the plate in.
Before they could put the plate in, yeah.
Now, I showed you that picture about, remember the bet the other day? Okay.
Refresh my memory.
Well, a guy that they were playing golf for 100 shares a hole. They
Oh,
were
yeah.
partners in the company, and the guy lost the entire company to his partner, but they went back and they had a bet on whether Don Zimmer had a metal plate in his head, and he won everything back.
I think everybody knew that Don Zimmer had a plate in his head. Actually, he got that when he got beamed back in the days before they had helmets.
Batting helmets?
Yeah. This week, the Kenosha Today Secret Word Challenge is sponsored by Barter's Financial Planning Services. And the Secret Word Challenge, oh, wait, that's a Secret Word Challenge.
It is.
If you get the secret word, We are going to send you out, because it's Memorial Day, a free CD, I Am the Flag, that we're going to play after the 11 o'clock break.
Yeah.
So,
Dave Carlino's nephew.
anyway, coming up after the 10:30 weather break, Kenosha's fastest growing game show sensation, the Lightning Round of City of Jeopardy, sponsored by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery. And then after the 11 o'clock break, this week's top 10 thought-provoking category, written at Amen Corner, where gray hairs do matter, at last night's production meeting. The top 10 signs your favorite grocery store is closing. You know, they had this big article because...
So for Memorial Day, we're going to do a top 10 about the grocery stores?
Well, I'm not going to make fun of Memorial Day. That's
No.
solid. We're gonna take, by the way, as long as you brought that up,
Yeah.
start taking your calls. You can call in for a tribute or a salute, shout out to either a veteran or someone in your family or a friend that has paid the ultimate
Right.
sacrifice, 262-694-1050. Yeah, I'm not making...
No,
but this article about closing stores leave food desert. It'll be soon difficult to find grocers with fresh food in the inner city. Well, you know, I always said that...
Maybe if they would buy some fresh food there, they wouldn't have that problem.
Well, you know, one of these articles was saying that the reason people in the inner cities aren't buying because they get free dinners at the churches.
That's right.
Why do you want to go buy something for? And I always thought that we had too many grocery stores, but that's not my problem. If you think about all the grocery stores within maybe a 5-mile radius, if you go down south, where you got Festival Foods down there, and then you have a Steinbrink's, something that's in Pershing Plaza, and then you've got another one that's kind of what's the store that's in Southport Plaza, and then you got Aldi's, and you got Walmart, and you got many more stores that are like Target and Kmart that are selling groceries. So,
Yep.
hey, it's a business decision, right? And if you're not making
right.
money, you know, you got to pull the plug.
I've been thinking about opening a grocery store, Elmo's Rancid Meat. So
All right, so I know where not to shop. That's
What
fantastic.
I mean, yeah, you can take all the roadkill. You talk about profitability,
That's
profit
right.
margin.
Yeah.
Wow, is this stuff got to be put in a freezer? Or
no,
you
we just leave it out on the front lawn for a couple of days. And then
Let it ferment.
let it molt and
Yeah.
ferment, and boy, that's got some possibilities.
Get some age on it.
That's what they do in Mexico.
No wonder Captain Mike looks like he does.
Dry aging. Yep.
That's Captain Mike. Right?
Anyway, the top 10 signs your favorite grocery store is going to be closing. Also, during that half hour, we'll be playing Stump the Chumps, and we're now going to allow one of our lucky listeners an opportunity to see if they're actually smarter than the chumps that sit here in this studio. And you're going to be gone next week, and
Yes.
Pistol Pete from Antioch is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be up at the Midwest Sanger Fest.
Well, they didn't want to hang out.
Good morning.
Maybe this one.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi,
Shirley.
Hi.
Hi.
Yep, there's still plenty of grocery stores left. Oh, my gosh. You can get food anywhere.
That's why
Anywhere?
we have a overweight society.
Uh-huh, yeah. No, there's
she-
plenty of food out there, plenty of grocery stores.
She should know, being the produce expert that you are.
Yeah.
So that's,
How much product of yours do we find
Green
in
leafy
grocery
substances.
stores? Hey, maybe
Yep,
we
I still have a lot of my product left. So
maybe when Elmo opens up his Elmo's Rancid Meat department, and he can use some of yours, just kind of offset. And
sure. Yep.
You in?
Sure, absolutely.
Sure.
It's a
I'll
moneymaker.
share.
All right. Who do you want to recognize for Memorial Day? Anybody?
Well, I want to say thanks to everyone, that's been in the military, that's in there now. It's just thanks isn't enough because we couldn't do what we do without those people being in the service. I just want to thank every one of them.
You know, I looked up kind of when Memorial Day started, and it started. Nobody seems to know exactly when.
You don't remember personally, Scott?
Right, the Revolutionary War.
Weren't you there? I mean,
1814, we took a little trip.
No, if I remember, they took your gun away, didn't they?
Oh yeah, they took the bullets away, and then just to be on the safe side, you know, back in the after I got back from Fort Campbell, I was assigned, and they used to be able to put in a clip in an M16.
Yeah.
And I believe there was 20 bullets in there,
Something
or
like
20
that,
rounds,
sure.
and you could put them on automatic and just squeeze it. And
Right.
well, after the Kent State incident, the National Guardsmen They had a little adapter on there.
Yeah.
So here you are. You had to put one round at a time in an M16, and it was the old Barney Fife thing. You could not have your one round unless the governor of that state authorized it.
Yep.
I got in a little trouble. I was guarding in the middle of nowhere a theater.
Okay.
It was raining,
Yeah.
and I got this weapon, an M16. I have no bullets.
Right.
And so it's pouring down rain. And so I went in to watch Paint Your Wagon. I think I told this story before.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, and Lee Marvin.
Yeah.
And the sergeant of the day comes, well, how come you deserted your post? I goes, well, first of all, there's nobody out here. It's raining. And what am I going to do, say stop or I'll shoot? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got no bullets.
Yeah. So,
What are you going to do? No bullets, or how are you going
Yeah.
to stop anybody?
yeah.
That's Scott's illustrious military career. there.
So much for that. Surprising I was even on our side. But anyway, Memorial Day used to be, up until 1971, used to be called Decoration Day.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And there's a difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Veterans Day is a day of remembering and honoring military personnel who died in the service of their country.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, that's Memorial Day. And Veterans Day is a day set aside to say thank you. Either way, it all comes out about the same.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, we got to thank all of them, for doing, serving our country, for sure.
yeah. What do you got, a
Yeah.
big picnic lined up for tomorrow?
Not really. Just gonna chill out and have some food on the grill, I guess.
Let her memo to Elmo, cancel Shirley's. We're not going over there.
Okay. All right.
Well, we're gonna have ribs.
Oh, put that back
Yeah,
in.
my husband cooks ribs very good.
You know, I'm making Spider Ron's favorite for the
Kenosha
thing tomorrow,
Today.
the Kenosha Today annual meeting.
Yeah.
And I'm making pizza tater tot casserole.
Awesome.
Oh boy.
Oh, he's a very good cook.
Love tater tots.
He's a very good cook. It's very low cal.
I make a tater tot. I made a taco one year, but it's always tater tots.
So anyway,
With pizza. That sounds good. Anything with pizza, I go for.
okay. All right. Shirley.
Well, you got the
Yeah, but
munchies
we
all
are
the
having
time.
ribs tomorrow, so
that's
they,
'cause you
they
got
are good.
You got the munchies all the time. That's because of that product you have in your.
Yeah, right.
All right, Shirley. Well, you have a great weekend.
Okay, well, I just want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for
right.
doing what they do and what they did, and
Yep.
that's all I can
I
say.
agree.
That's very nice,
All right.
Shirley. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye.
Also, during that half hour, we'll be playing Stump the Chumps. And, I said that already.
You did.
I did. Oh, that's when I started to say Pistol Pete from Antioch is coming.
Right.
In.
You were all excited.
Elmo's going to be out on assignment, just singing in a concert next week, right? In Manitowoc?
The Midwest Sanger Fest.
Is this for prize or booze?
German choirs.
Is this for prize or booze?
No, there's no competition. We just go up there and sing and eat and drink, basically. That's
Not necessarily in that order.
correct.
Go up there unsupervised?
Unsupervised.
Yeah. Anyway, I started to say if you happen to stump the chumps, you can come in and see for yourself all the intricacies, the planning, and the technology that goes into producing a high-powered, high-energy radio show like this. It's not easy, you know.
No. There's a lot of work involved.
I do want to say I will be singing this afternoon or tonight at Voices of Valor up at the EAA hangar at the Racine Airport, 3333 North Green Bay Road.
Is other people singing, or is it just you guys?
No,
or?
it's a whole bunch of choirs from all
really?
over the place. Yep, yep.
Veterans. Is there a charge? or?
Yeah, it's $20 to get in.
Okay.
All proceeds go to suicide prevention for veterans. So that's
God love you. Hey, and there's even more, boys and girls, after the 11:30 break. our special weekly editorial segment as the
Tater Tot Turns.
Tater Tot Turns. Tater Tot Turns. Do we have some drop for that? Do we have a Tater Tot drop?
Ooh, let's see. Do we have a tater? No, I guess we'll just stick with the harp.
Okay, go with
Maybe. What am I missing here? Oh, there we go. Somebody was mashing all my buttons. There we go. Minor technical
This
difficulties.
week's High Five Zingers and Doofuses, as only heard here on the Kenosha Today Show. And it gets even better for those who might have forgotten. Tomorrow at noon each and every Sunday, you can tune in here at AM 1050 WLIP and listen to the replay of the show. And then you can watch the replay of this finely tuned, professionally produced Excuse for a Radio show, Time Warner Cable's Channel 14, Tuesdays at 5 and Wednesdays at 6. And everybody can now sign up with the thousands of our fans and listeners who have joined the Kenosha Today Nation and liked us on Facebook. Good morning, you're in Kenosha today.
Hey, this is Pete. I can guarantee I will not be doing any singing next week.
You will not be doing any singing?
No singing, no. You know, when I do
Thank you for that.
karaoke and I sing that tequila song, I get the word wrong. So I'm the last guy you want singing.
Well, now that you mentioned that, for sure we're going to count on you to sing.
Yep.
So,
Tequila makes me take my clothes off.
yeah. Is that the
No,
song?
please don't do that. No. No.
Yeah, I can sing some good old-fashioned Navy rum songs, but then that might get us in trouble, so we don't want to do that.
Probably.
Trouble. Like we avoid trouble, right?
Right.
And now that you, and since Elmo won't be here, you'll be sitting right directly next to Spider Ron, the cabana
keep your
boy.
hand off his thigh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just because.
Well, I never did any submarine service, so I'm not one of those 60 guys go down and 30 couples come back kind of guys.
Right.
Yeah, but you better. You're going to come to the conference next Friday.
I will. I will be there. Yes, for sure.
And then I'm going to send an email about. I have some questions on the sponsor you want to talk about. Maybe we can figure something out for that.
Sounds good.
And bring a song that we. Otherwise, I'll bring one, and it ain't going to be
All
pretty.
right,
That's
And I would like to say something about my.
What?
I would like to say something about my dad. My dad was a veteran. He passed away. He was a fireman in Chicago as well for 35 years. But he went in the Army at 15, borrowing his brother's ID card, who was already in the Navy at that time. And he was getting out before he was even supposed to be getting in.
No kidding. He was 15.
His father died when he was 6 in 1936. So, and then they kind of got some issues with some money and everything. His dad was a railroad guy, and something happened, and so he was the youngest of 8 kids, and so he went in at 15, and then did some cleanup duty in Japan and Korea and the Philippines, and went through that big typhoon, I guess, in 1945 that came to the Philippines.
Hey,
Did that, and then when he came back a few years later, became a fireman in Chicago.
Let me ask you this, Pete. At 15, did he have a driver's license? Did he get in it, or just Social Security number?
Well, they didn't have Social Security numbers at that time. Of course, he had the service number at 1936.
Right.
He did have his, like I said, his brother's ID card.
But didn't have a picture on it. It didn't have a picture on it in those days, right?
Well, he looked pretty much like his brother, so that's how he got away with it.
Jeez.
And then and I guess when they came back in 1947. There was a lot of downtime as they were trying, because they didn't want people to stay in the military. So they were doing a lot of decompression. They were having classes, how to go be good citizens and all that stuff. And I guess him and a few of the guys got bored and took a little 9-10 day unauthorized vacation. So when my grandma got the letter saying that he was AWOL from the Army, she went to at that time they used to send the recruiters out to give out the messages after 10 days. And she said, well, how could my son be in the Army when he's only 17 now?
Well, she didn't know this?
They all came, no. Oh, yeah, she knew because he was sending money back home.
Okay.
But that was the line she used to the recruiter. And so when he got the telegram back to the Army, and when they came back from some visit, I guess, in upstate New York, 9 guys got in trouble, and they offered my dad a promotion, but he decided to get out anyway.
So what happened? What happened to when they found out that he was actually underage and he lied about getting in?
They still discharged him normal, but then years later he did have some issues getting benefits from the VA when some stuff came up. But other than that, they helped him join the fire department in Chicago, and then he retired as a captain out of the fire department in Chicago, and then he passed away in 2006.
Well, God love him. That's a great story. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he was at a fire at a Marriott about 15 years before, and it caused some nerve damage. He had a little stroke and all that stuff, and he was the captain of the house, but they got overwhelmed by some backdraft, actually, just like the movie where some guy started a fire in a laundry room at a hotel.
Well,
so he was actually in one of those decompression chambers for about 10 days, because if he had too much oxygen going to the system too fast, he would have passed away. So that caused some nerve damage later in his life. But
well, that kind of story is, you can go on and on and on. And I hope some of our other listeners call in 262-694-1050 and relate some of these, because it's kind of gut wrenching when you think about it.
Yep.
So Hey, what's the topic going to be next week when you join us?
Oh, I think we should just kind of keep it a little lighthearted and stuff. I mean, I'm big on that. I have some pretty interesting ideas about some weather locations we could discuss that might be pretty entertaining.
Okay.
To throw in there for humor effect.
So
I'm all big about
plan. You have a plan, right?
I have a plan, yes.
Well, that's the first time in 5 years I've heard that, Ron.
Oh,
Wayne, what are we going to do with this guy? He's got a plan. Going to bring notes in here.
We'll just roll with it.
Okay. Yeah.
Stay fluid.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works, though.
All right, Pete.
That's what you do in the military. You plan for everything, knowing that whatever you plan for is not going to be exactly what you do. But at least you train for it to start. So
yeah, boy.
At least you have an idea.
Yeah. All right. Well, you have a good holiday weekend, and I'll talk to you. Send you an email on Tuesday.
Will do.
All right. Thanks,
talk
Pete.
To you next week. Bye.
See you, Pete.
All righty.
Pistol Pete from going to join us next week from Antioch. Maybe you guys can carpool it.
No, I'll be here too soon.
Oh, well, he can.
I don't want him sitting around watching me work while I'm,
Well, he's got to learn.
Looking over your shoulder.
Yeah. He doesn't need to learn.
Tricks of the trade.
And I better read this. There's another article in the paper today because of the low unemployment and people are looking for new employees.
Yeah.
And they have recent job fairs, and everybody's looking, especially in this whole area. So what better way to seek new qualified hires than to take
Getting silly with Scotty.
Getting silly with Scotty. It's good to be back on the men's team. I tried that transgender thing.
Yeah. It didn't work out for you?
No.
You didn't decide to transition the full way?
It wasn't for me.
Okay.
Besides having to sit every time I take a leak to go into the women's room, that's not going to work.
It was a little awkward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I got to put the toilet seat down.
You weren't like that guy they arrested out in New York State that was apparently some hallucinogenic drugs were involved, but he was dressed in women's lingerie and he was putting potatoes in the bathtub of a hotel room. And
I didn't think anybody recognized me in that picture.
They smelled a little of Shirley's product coming out there,
right.
And so something was wrong here. All right. It says, why are you putting potatoes in the bathtub? Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, anybody that would dress up in a red dress and a blonde wig and army boots and get on a pole and pretend to be a pole dancer, that's just wrong. I mean, that boy he's got
on so many levels.
That's a cry for help there.
Deep-seated cry for help, yes.
Again, in honor of Memorial Day, we'll take in your calls and let you pay tribute to a family member or simply someone who has served our country. In time for Memorial Day, actually there's some, let me read off a couple, I'll get back to them again. Some Memorial Day ceremonies that are coming up tomorrow out at Dover in the Veterans Memorial Cemetery. Keynote speaker is Daniel Zimmerman. That starts at 11 a.m. And then on Monday, 9 a.m. at Navy Park down across from City Hall, Navy Club Ship 40 has some ceremonies. At 10 a.m., Greenridge Cemetery on 7th Avenue. And American Legion Post 21 ceremony. Noon, Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 1865. That's the VFW out on 39th Avenue there. Have the annual flag retirement ceremony to follow at 1, and then at noon, Library Park, the Kenosha area Vietnam veteran ceremony to include POW and MIA services. Silver Lake on Monday out at 9 a.m. American Legion Post 293, and then Twin Lakes also at 9 a.m. Mound Prairie Cemetery, and 9:30 St. John Cemetery, and then Summers at 11 a.m. Sunset Ridge Memorial Park. That begins at 11 a.m. And one last 11 a.m. in Pleasant Prairie, Old St. Mark's Cemetery, 9th Court and 78th Street, Veterans of Foreign Wars. Good morning, you're on Kenosha today.
Hi, guys, it's Cindy. How are you?
Hey,
Good.
Cindy.
Can I remember some people?
Sure can.
Please do.
Okay. My dad would be W.J. Cutler, and he was World War II Navy. And my brother Charles Cutler, and he was Korean Navy. And my brother Jim Cutler, and he was Army, Korea.
That's fantastic. Somebody else in one of our past shows called and made a tribute, not only to, like, your dad and your two brothers, but to the moms and the wives.
My mom, too.
That endured all this.
Yeah.
And,
She lived in Racine, and then they lived at Great Lakes for a little while. And then, but let me tell you a little something about my dad.
Okay.
My dad was in the Navy in the 20s. He got out in 29, and he was 3 days before he turned 35. He joined up again for World War II.
How about that? Well, you know, nowadays, patriotism had a whole new meaning, a whole different meaning, I should say.
Sure did.
And it stayed that way. This is just my opinion, that until after 9/11, and we got back to that. But
yeah, he said he didn't like seeing all the young guys that weren't inexperienced going in, so he joined back up, and he was in for the duration. And 12 years after he came home, they had me.
Well, that's
I was
okay.
the big surprise.
Yep.
He was 52, and Ma was 49.
Well, look how you turned out. That's Planned Parenthood, right?
Good. Just wanted to mention their names today.
All right.
And I'm sure they'll be getting their flags out at Sunset Ridge.
Yeah, I saw him getting ready when I was coming in from the golf course yesterday, and I've got mine hanging out. You know, that was, again, up until, there was a period there in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and until 9/11 came along, people weren't as patriotic, and then I think that was maybe kind of a wake-up call.
And then it wore off again a little bit, you know. I mean, we were all gung-ho after 9/11, and then like 3-4 years later, you don't see the flags out anymore much, you know, on people's houses and stuff.
Well, I hope it doesn't take another 9/11 to get us back to that, but God
yeah,
forbid we
well,
don't want to do that
hopefully
again.
not.
Yeah. All right, Cindy.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a great
Cindy.
weekend.
Bye.
All right, let's take our weather break. Who's on the weather?
Worcester.
Well, it's about time he brought us something decent that we can...
Who?
And now, it's going to be my great, very great privilege to sing for you a song that's never been sung before by anybody. One that was written especially for me by one of the greatest composers in the music field today. It's something more than a song. I feel it's one of the most beautiful compositions that was ever written. A song that will never die. The author, Mr. Irving Berlin. The title, God Bless America. While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to our land that's free. Let us all be grateful that we're far from there as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America.
Hello, everybody. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the May 26th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report. Coming to you live from Studio A here at AM 1050, spreading the love to over 1.4 million people here in the WIP listening area that surrounds us here at Camp Happy Face. Also bringing you gas trolleys, backyard beavers, and saving the Kenosha Today Nation from all the perils and who over Kenosha. Again, we invite you to join the thousands of our fans who have already signed up and liked us on Facebook. And we are brought to you by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and Barter's Financial Planning Services, along with a host of many other very fine local businesses. Joining us this morning, my relationship advisor, who, by the way, operates out of a red panel truck in the Boathouse parking lot, and is also challenging Donald Trump for this year's Corbell Peace Prize. Elmo Schneider is here.
Good morning.
I think you're a shoo-in. I think you're going to beat the Trumpster at the end. You're a Triple Crown winner.
It's all about the hair.
Yeah. Sporting the new hairstyle. Did you see this, Spider?
I got a clip. I saw it Thursday night.
Oh, yeah.
At the pre-meeting.
And also Prince Harry's new role model and mentor, the Kenosha Today love doctor, and now Cabana Boy. Ronnie the camera dude is here. What are the official duties of a cabana boy? Cabaning? How does you cabana?
Serving drinks.
Rubbing bunions.
Rubbing
Yeah,
bunions.
Massage my bunions, please.
Bunion activities. Get that special salve over at your pool.
Yep.
And engineering and board operating the Kenosha State train wreck this morning. As always, hanging on our every word, the pretty face of WIP, Wacky Wayne, joins us here, all the way from Antioch.
Far, far away. Yes.
That was Kate Smith, correct?
It was.
What year was that?
1938 first radio performance therein. Yeah.
Where was it? Does
It didn't
say?
specify.
Had to be out.
You were there, don't you remember?
Yeah,
I was
right.
dating Kate Smith at the time.
I don't doubt it for a second.
But I went to the pre-cocktail dinner, and
Right.
I
You
don't
didn't
remember
remember
after that.
anything after that,
Anybody
yeah.
that starts at 8 o'clock, forget it.
Right, forget it. Yeah.
See, there was a pattern of behavior at that time.
Yeah.
Coming up after the 11:30 break, our weekly editorial segment this week. It's as the Elmo
turns.
As the tater tot turns.
What's the secret recipe? You put these, then you bake them for so long.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's top secret.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Yes, I want to know why you stopped God Bless America.
Because we had to start
Well, it goes
the
on
radio
for
show.
about 5-6 minutes. You want me to play it again?
Well, of course, we want the whole thing played, not
Okay.
just a couple words. That's a beautiful song.
Okay.
I think that was terrible what you just did. Thank you and goodbye.
It's terrible.
No, that's
Well,
not
we
her.
actually,
Yeah.
in the radio business, they call that what do you call it? Music?
Bumper music.
Bumper
Yeah.
music, just to start us.
Right.
Well, all right. Since I've been taken to task here, we'll play it at the end of the show.
You want to do it at the
Won't
end
be
of
the
show?
last
All right.
time.
Right.
How many minutes is that? Does it say?
It's like 4.5.
Oh.
Because
Well.
they do that whole intro thing, and then she starts singing.
Well, maybe we can start it. Do you have the ability to start it
I guess.
somewhere?
Yeah. We could start it closer to the actual beginning of the song.
All right, tell you what we'll do. We'll play it right before the 11 break.
We have the Kenosha Today song request hotline here
Yeah.
at 694-1050. Please
All right.
call in your song
Oh,
request.
okay.
It's okay.
All right. We didn't look at it that way. I mean, I guess you can look at the glass half full or half empty. We were just using it as bringing
That's
it
it,
in
yeah.
and bringing it up. So-
Right.
but if you want to hear it,
You chose that song. Had we gone with Jimi Hendrix, Star
Oh,
Spangled
yeah,
Banner,
then the phones would have
we
lit
would
up.
have been out. Nobody'd be complaining about how long the song didn't
Yeah.
play.
You were gonna
we would
play-
have been in and out.
you were going to
Easy
play
peasy.
Jimi Hendrix version of the national anthem.
You make it sound like a bad thing.
Well, I didn't.
If people are so sensitive about that, obviously, God bless America, it inspires a different sort of
That's okay.
commitment. People really want to hear that. Obviously, by that last caller, Jimi Hendrix. I bet we could have gotten in and out, and that phone line wouldn't have lit up at all. But no, you wanted to take that chance. You wanted to go. God save the Queen. Yeah,
God
say
save the
that.
Queen.
I'm already down,
regime.
for the count now. Why don't you just
nail in the coffin.
We'll play it going out to the 11 o'clock break. How's that? Jeez. Okay. Emma,
it's
want to
just-
read this for Pete's Place?
Oh,
Before I
good.
screwed up?
No, you read it. I didn't.
He didn't bring his glasses.
They
Okay.
broke this morning, so I got to buy another pair.
Pete's, you need...
Sick back in the beer garden.
All right. Got rid of that.
Indigo Canyon. That's
We are taking your calls, 262-694-1050. Well, let's see how this is going to work.
I don't want to. Probably going to be mad that we didn't play Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, God. Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Hello, Commander. How are you?
Just a preemptive. Get it out of the way now. All right. I'm sure I probably didn't need it, but just in case.
Yes.
A preemptive strike in the latrine.
It's true.
A couple things I'd like to remember, if I could. My Uncle Frank, who died in World War II in Italy, he was strafed by a plane in the back of a troop truck and got killed. So I'd like to remember him.
All right.
Thank you.
And I'd like to ask you if you think that Shirley's going to be relocating to Milwaukee County.
Why are they going to make, what's going to be legal up there, marijuana?
Well, she'll want to vote on that referendum coming up in the fall.
Oh, Milwaukee's going to make have a
Yeah,
referendum?
they're having a referendum to make marijuana legal.
Well, forget Shirley. Elmo and I we got the truck packed. We're going to be Milwaukee today.
Yeah, it's coming up in the fall.
Hey, let me ask you this. Do you want to hear a version of Kate Smith's God Bless America?
Actually, I have that recording.
Okay, we'll put you down for a yes. All right. Because we aim to please here at the
You do.
Yeah.
You do. I mean, I know you were in the service, so thanks for your service. And, you know.
Yeah, they took his bullets away.
Yeah, you're the first person that ever said that, but go ahead.
I am? Well, it's overdue then. But and thanks to anybody else who served. And obviously we remember all those who can't be thanked that aren't alive, but we can thank them in their memory, you know.
Very good.
And I want everybody to try to watch that. It's every year on PBS, hosted by Gary Sinise and Joe Montana.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really great show. It's a 1 hour long Memorial Day celebration from the Capitol on public television.
Oh, I think I've seen that before. It is
great.
really good, yeah.
7 o'clock, I think it comes on.
You coming to the conference tomorrow?
I wouldn't miss it for the world. Not even if your toilet didn't even work, I'd still be there.
I got big bushes out in the back.
Well, I know.
I'm going to be installing the potty piano in the Barter Manor.
There's a nest of rabbits, so you might want to keep on your guard out there if you're going in the bushes.
I know you're very protective of the rabbits. The last thing you'd want to do is hear that the rabbit died. So that's what's got to happen.
Scott, do you have the hanging baskets up?
Yes, I have all my hanging baskets up. So you don't bring a watering can because that's not needed.
How high are they hanging, or are they?
Yeah. Yes. All right, Dennis. I'll see you tomorrow.
One hung low.
One hung lower. Yeah.
I will wear my sunglasses to keep the paparazzi away.
Please.
Good call. Good call.
Good call.
All right, you guys.
All right.
Thanks a lot, man.
See you, Dennis. Thank you.
Take it easy.
All right. Good morning. You're in Kenosha today. Hello.
Yes, you're honoring military today?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to honor my dad.
Okay. His name?
He was World War II Navy.
His name?
Charles Philip Chapman Jr.
Okay.
He's on the Arizona Memorial.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't go down with the ship.
Well, God bless him then. Yep.
He was home on leave at the time, but he was on the Douglas L. Howard prior to the Arizona, and it was torpedoed, and he was transferred to the Arizona, and he went home because of his grandmother's illness on leave, and that's when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor.
Oh.
And he died at 84, years later, and but he's on the memorial at Arizona Memorial.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
God bless
I appreciate it.
Yes, and I also like to say my family has 5 generations of military now. With my grandson, he is in the Army.
Where's he
And his
stationed?
name is-
Where's he stationed?
Oh, he gets stationed, although he's got the ideal job in the military. He's going from base to base all over the world, teaching them how to repair the new drones, the pilotless planes.
Oh, that sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and he gets to go. He's been to like at least 6 different since after boot camp in the Army. They kept him there for a whole year to train him for this job for the new drones, and there'll be a test for him because he scored so high in boot camp. And so that's what he's got, the ideal job in the military now, flying from base to base around the world.
Well, you can't beat that. Stay out of harm's way.
Yeah.
So,
Whether it's NAS, Memphis, Tennessee, or Yokohama, Japan, or I think he was, last I heard, in Germany. And,
well.
And I can't say his name except for his first name is Bo, Deau.
Well, that's fine. We appreciate it. Yep. All right, dear.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your story. Appreciate it, and have a great weekend.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We're kind of way past time here. We got to get to, it's time to play Kenosha's fastest growing game show sensation, the lightning round of City and Jeopardy, sponsored by the Boathouse Pub and Eatery. And to be eligible, no one from your household could have won any contest on WLIP within the last 60 days. We will now clear the phone lines, and I'm going to read the question, which is a very sophisticated, intelligent, multiple choice question. You will then get 3 somewhat intellectual answers to choose from. After that, you will hear the ding. And the first caller to correctly answer the question wins a Kenosha Today $25 gift certificate to the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, located at 4917 7th Avenue here in Kenosha. Open Monday through Friday at 11 a.m., featuring weekly lunch and dinner specials. Enjoy a beautiful waterfront view. Oh, it's just gorgeous down there at this time of the year.
Spectacular, especially on a day like today.
Oh, yes. And stop in for their big Saturday and Sunday morning breakfast and Bloody Mary specials, beginning at 7 a.m. until noon. And if you're planning a party or a banquet, call Joyce, 262-654-9922, or you can find them on the web at boathousekenoshatoday.com. All right, for the very sophisticated question. What is the most important thing you should do when hosting a Memorial Day picnic? Most important thing you should do when hosting a Memorial Day picnic. A, stock up with plenty of Depends. That would be for Dennis. Timely. B, be sure your mechanical bull is fully lubricated. Or C, put cups of water out for guests to put their teeth in. 262-694-1050. What is the most important thing you should do when hosting a Memorial Day picnic? We got a first caller there?
I think you're going to definitely want to
Holy cow.
Plan better for your party. All right.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Hello.
Yes, who's this?
This is Jamie from Kenosha.
Jamie. All right, Jamie. Jamie?
Yeah, 1M.
1M, okay. I always like to put in extras for extra credit.
He has problems with spelling. We found that out.
And I don't have spell check in front of me. Yeah.
Strong suit,
I was only a C student. What do you guys want?
Right.
All right, Jamie, here's the question. What is the most important thing you should do when hosting a Memorial Day picnic? A, stock up with plenty of Depends. B, be sure your mechanical bull is fully lubricated. Or C, put cups of water out for guests to put their teeth in. Jamie.
I'd say C.
Put cups of water out for guests to put your teeth in. Yes, that's a correct answer. Hey, Jamie, how old are you? Jamie, it's not a trick question, Jamie.
47.
47. So if your age group is getting there, so maybe another 10 years, you probably have to put out cups of water. And if you got guys like my friend Dennis coming over, yeah, you'd have to for sure have plenty of Depends.
Oh, but yeah, that's true.
And so, are you having a picnic this weekend?
I'm gonna go to my parents' house.
Okay. And barbecuing and.
Yeah, he's gonna cook out. He likes he has a big smoker, like an egg smoker. He's gonna put some briskets on there and some pork butts.
Oh, they're good.
What a favorite father.
The big green eggs, those are great.
Yeah, the green egg. Yeah, that's it.
Oh. Yep. So, when you going tomorrow or Monday?
I'll go tomorrow. They got family coming, another family from out of state on Monday. So.
Well, here's what I would do, Jamie. I'd go tomorrow, take a knapsack, and stay till Monday and have the leftovers. That's what I always do when I have a guest over. I feed her up on 4-ounce fillets, and I still have enough for her to have left over in the morning.
Mm-hmm. That's a thought. Yeah.
Are you married, Jamie?
I am. Yeah.
Well, then don't tell her that thought. That's not going to end up well.
Right.
Well, do you listen to this often?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, good. Then you're down to our level, then, Jamie. Well, off the air, Wacky Wayne's going to get your name, address, phone number, and I'll send you the certificate on Tuesday because we're not going to be any mail on Monday, so you'll get it.
Correct.
And then hope to see you at the boathouse sometime.
All right. Very good.
All right. Very good. Go ahead. Off the air.
Thank you.
All right. You know, while he's getting that, I've read this letter that was to a mother in previous times, but here's the letter. It says, "Dear Madam, I have been shown the files that you are the mother of 5 sons who have died gloriously on the field of battle. I feel how weak and fruitless must be any words of mine which should attempt to beguile you from the grief of a loss so overwhelming. But I cannot refrain from tendering to you the consolation that may be found in the thanks of the Republic they died to save. I pray that our Heavenly Father may relieve the anguish of your bereavement and leave you only the cherished memory of the loved and the lost and the solemn pride that must be yours to have laid such a costly sacrifice upon the altar of freedom. Signed, Abraham Lincoln." All right. We're going to start taking your calls again, 262-694-1050.
Yep.
Oh.
You'll be chastised again.
All right, do we have time to play God Bless America? We better because...
4 minutes. Oh,
yeah, sure. Why not?
All right. By popular request.
One person.
Well, no.
The Kenosha Today request hotline.
For Memorial Day, and we played this coming out of this break, and I guess they want to hear it all. So Here's Kate Smith, 1930.
November 10th, 1938, first radio performance, Armistice Day.
I was there.
I know you were.
And then when we get back, right after the 11 o'clock news, we will Never Gets Old, I Am the Flag.
That's right.
All right, here you go.
Composers in the music field today. It's something more than a song. I feel it's one of the most beautiful compositions that was ever written. A song that will never die. The author, Mr. Irving Berlin. The title, God Bless America. While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to our land that's free. Let us all be grateful that we're far from there as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
I am the flag of the United States of America. I was born on July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run through my veins, for I offer freedom to the oppressed. I stand for many things to many people. I am the nation. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Anzio, Normandy, Guam, Iwo Jima, Korea, Saigon, Grenada, Beirut, Panama, in the Persian Gulf, and a score of places long forgotten by all those who were there with me. I was there. I led my soldiers, Marines, sailors, and airmen. I followed them. I watched over them, for they loved me. When freedom called, I answered and stayed until it was over. I left my heroic dead in Flanders fields, in the oceans of the Pacific and Atlantic, in the steaming jungles of Vietnam, in the waters of the Persian Gulf, the sands of Desert Storm, and Iraqi freedom. I was conceived in freedom, and God willing, in freedom I will spend the rest of my days. May I possess always the integrity, the courage, and the strength to keep myself unshackled, to remain the citadel of freedom and the beacon of strength to the rest of the world. This is my goal, my hope, and my prayer. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on in the streets of countries I have helped set free. And sadly, even by my own country, and by those whom I have given the freedom to express their rights, it hurts. But I shall overcome because I am strong. I have slipped the bonds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the uncharted new frontiers of space. I have been a silent witness to all of America's finest hours. But my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades in the field of battle. When I fly half-staff to honor my soldiers and lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the gravesite of her fallen son or daughter. I am proud, I am free, and I am brave. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave, dear God, long may I wave. Good morning, everybody. If you just joined us, this is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the May 26th Pick-to-Click edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report on this Memorial Day weekend. Broadcasting live from Studio A here at AM 1050 WLIP on your radio dial. Being brought to you by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and Barter's Financial Planning Services, along with a host of many other very fine local business, taking serious journalism to an all-time high, playing certain songs on the hotline request line.
That's it.
Spanning the globe, reporting on national stories, state stories, local issues. And on occasion, we might stretch things a bit and make things up. And joining us this morning, soon to be named the recipient of this year's Corbell Peace Prize, Elmo Schneider. And
good morning.
And also with us, as he is each and every Saturday morning, every young kid's role model, our video coordinator, Spider Ronnie, the Cabana Boy, Love Doctor.
Thank you very much.
And performing as both our engineer and board operator, a role model in his own right. Wacky Wayne graces us with his presence. When we were playing God Bless America,
yeah,
those mics were off, right?
What mics? Well, the lines didn't light up. JP didn't call and say we're off the air. So
the
I turned the mic.
Isn't calling in,
breathing down my neck. So yeah, the mics were off.
Well, if they were on, we'd be off.
Right. Yeah.
With just a little in studio humor here. The status of this morning's Secret Word Challenge, sponsored by Barter's Financial Planning Service, has still been yet unnamed, or is unnamed. If you happen to get lucky and say this morning's secret word, we're going to send you a copy of the CD, I Am the Flag, which you just heard.
Yeah.
And, oh, geez, we got some phone calls here before we get to the top 10.
Holy cow.
True.
Now you got to balance. Which is more important, the top 10 or the phone calls? Let's go to the phone calls.
Yeah.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
I
don't know what he was saying.
I don't think
he did. He forgot to turn his radio down.
Oh, okay. Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today. Who's this?
Nobody's there. All right. Top 10, I guess
Well, I
it
guess
is.
we want to hear the top 10. Anyway, we are taking your calls. We are taking, letting you pay tribute to a veteran who is either serving or has served in the armed forces. 262-694-1050. All right, written in our home office. Before I get to this, should we take a chat or?
No, it's unavailable.
Okay. Written in our home office at Amen Corner on the deck.
Hold on.
All right.
I paused it because I thought maybe it was worth it. Do you want to take Irish Ruth first?
Top 10 Irish Ruth. Why you challenge me with all this?
I know. You want to talk
Yeah,
about
challenging show on radio.
Irish Ruth.
Good morning, dear.
Hello, it's Irish Ruth. You know, I want to give a lot of names, which would be the secret word. But the true meaning that I'm going to give you is, yes, the key word is prayer in God Bless America, but that's not the secret word. The secret word is reflecting the creation of the ocean and the waves.
That's a whole, that's 6 words.
The flag waving. Wave
7,
is the
8,
secret
9,
word.
10, 11. Well,
that might not be your secret word, but that's God's secret word.
Oh, okay.
Wave.
That's true. All right. Well, hey, did you like it when we played God Bless America in its entirety?
Of course. And who was that lady? Could that be the lady from Salem, Oregon?
Sailor
I
Moore,
want to
huh?
know. I want to know who the secret lady was who called
It
in
came
with
up
that
as
stamina.
no.
She had tremendous stamina.
It came up as Libby Custer. It was the name on the ID, right, Wayne? Libby Custer.
Careful what you be careful what you ask for. You know, she survived the Indians. That's a great secret word too. Survive.
Well,
America survived.
It's not our secret word, but
yeah. Guess what I'm doing?
Okay.
Guess what I'm doing? I am making a kilt and a tam o' shanter and a jacket that would reflect the kilts are all from the UK, but we have a lot of bagpipers in this country.
This is Memorial Day weekend.
I want an American kilt, so that's what I'm making, a red, white, and blue American kilt.
Sounds good.
All right, well.
With a pin.
All
with
right.
a pin and everything.
I got to go.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
No. On the next one.
No on the next one?
On to the top 10.
Dodged another bullet.
Slowly
right,
but
hit
surely.
the music. These are the top 10 signs your favorite grocery store will be closing. Number 10. All the expiration dates are from 1995. Number 9. Sign on the front door that says, "Welcome to the store for losers." Number 8. Not enough Amish customers. Number 7. Stockboy has a tattoo that says, "No longer born to bag groceries." Number 6. The magic question of paper or plastic is replaced with probate and prostate. Number 5. The freezer section is filled with livers ready for transplant. Number 4. Employees' 401ks are heavily invested in the Dairyland Casino. Number 3.
Slow down.
Good.
Number 3.
You're getting too
pace it out.
excited here.
Yeah. All right. Continue.
Wow.
All right.
The deli counter features fresh roadkill on a daily basis. Number 2. They allow you to purchase trolley passes with food stamps. And the number 1 sign your favorite grocery store is closing. They're now accepting payments in barter coins.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Sorry, if I had let you keep going at the current pace you were at, we would have been listening to 20 seconds of the end of that, and you'd be looking at me like, man, will it never end?
But you see, you got to understand, high energy.
I know,
and
you
the
get
adrenaline,
too excited.
The adrenaline rush.
You got 1 minute and 8 seconds to name off 10 things.
But you see...
And you do it in 30 because you're so excited.
I do a lot of things in 30.
I know you do. I've heard.
The half-a-minute guy, you know?
That's right.
Where's the cigarette?
Plus, I'm coming off.
Where's the cigarette?
I'm coming off a conversation right with Ruth.
I know.
It's
30 seconds is all you need.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, where was I at here?
Now you're all kerfuffled.
Yeah.
You still got that 55-gallon drum in the trunk of your car?
We are taking your calls if you want to honor or pay tribute to a veteran or a family member or somebody that's serving or is... before I get to this, I got a text from my buddy Woody. Some Memorial Day ceremonies on Monday, Kenosha, 9 a.m. at Navy Park on 6th Avenue across from City Hall. I thought I mentioned this at 10 a.m. Greenridge Cemetery, 6604 7th Avenue, American Legion Post 21 ceremony. We were there last year down in American Legion. And at noon, Veterans Foreign Wars, Post 1865. Flag retirement ceremony to follow at 1 p.m. in noon, Library Park. Kenosha area Vietnam veterans has a ceremony to include POW and MIA service. Silver Lake at 9 a.m. parade, sponsored by their American Legion Post 293. Twin Lakes at 9 a.m. Mound Prairie Cemetery. And at 9:30 a.m. St. John's Cemetery, Highway KD. At 11 a.m. parade from Lance Park to American Legion Drive, followed by a ceremony. Summers, 11 a.m. Sunset Ridge Memorial Park on Green Bay Road. And sponsored by American Legion David Leap Post 552. And program will include comments by U.S. Senator Ron Johnson and keynote speaker Randolph Armstrong Muffet. And he's a senior military instructor at Kenosha Military Academy. And at Pleasant Prairie at 11 a.m., Old St. Mark's Cemetery, 9th Court, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 7308. Try to get out to visit one of those at some point during the weekend on Monday. It's supposed to be a gorgeous weekend. We ordered that up. And a big thank you to my friends at the Boathouse Pub in Eatery, 497. Yeah, that's not a real strong encouragement. Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Yes, this is Irish Ruth. Listen, last night you missed the boat on a panty raid. A bunch of girls from the Carthage College boarded the trolley wearing T-shirts that said pub crawl. You had your golden moment for a panty rave, but you're always dissing the trolleys, and they went from bar to bar to bar.
Yeah, that's a senior pub crawl. They do that every year.
Yeah, that's nothing new. Besides,
well, yeah, but there you could have got the panty rave with notoriety.
They are way outside of his skill level.
Yeah, those gals are way beyond.
He would have
my skill
embarrassed
level.
himself, and it's just not good to
What is
embarrass
a
yourself.
60-year-old guy gonna? 60-year-old guy
60,
gonna?
60, 68.
60 something.
Oh, so now you finally admit that the panty raid is not a good idea.
I didn't say it was a good idea. It just
That's
might
Gunga's
be.
idea.
That's
Right.
Gunga's idea.
He's got to play to a different skill set. Yeah.
And besides, Elmo went to Carthage, and he tells me some of those gals don't wear underwear.
That's right.
That's right.
Only if they're transgender and they're wearing a kilt. Well, how about secret word salute?
No, you already had your chance, and you blew it.
All right, goodbye.
Goodbye. Trying to scam me, trying to build up, trying to play with my emotions.
All right.
Of young girls.
Right.
And
get you all excited.
You get Ronnie and Elmo and I. You think we'd be interested in something like that?
Yes.
5-10 minutes tops.
Right.
That'd be about it.
Now, I just remember the day they had a big power failure at Carthage while I was out there. And, it was about in the spring, let's put it that way. And all the girls stripped and went in the windows with flashlights just showing off their bodies.
So did you ever get in trouble for pulling the plug on the whole university? They never caught you, though, right?
You couldn't see their faces, but you could see everything else. That was,
Elmo, well, at least your money for college didn't go to waste either.
How long were you there?
23 years.
Yeah. Hasn't left yet.
On scholarship,
You're
too.
on scholarship.
If there's Pell Grants, and then there's Pell Grants. Hey, look, boys and girls. And by the way, before we get to this, if anybody wants to call us with a salute, tribute to a veteran or a family member, 262-694-1050. The clock on the wall here at Studio A says it's 11:21, and everybody knows what that means. It's time for all our listeners to strut their stuff and try to stump the chumps. Now, if you're successful in stumping the chumps, you will then have the privilege, high honor, joining us as a guest host on an upcoming show, and we might even let you play one song of your choosing.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't get any better than that, and it's a huge opportunity for our audience to bring something of intelligence, sophistication.
Oh, huge.
I don't think so.
How huge was it?
It was so huge.
I'm trying to promote this act here, boys.
Sorry.
And I've been criticized because
Squirrel!
Kenosha Today Nation, and we are barely smarter than a fifth grader. Phone lines are clear, I see.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to take a trivia question or a song title, and the first caller to successfully stump the chumps. Jesus, this is not pretty.
Luckily, I can't see it. I'm dodging bullets here.
This is radio because
Spiders.
What I'm looking at now is
Spider, put it away. There's no ladies in this room.
not even a lot of gentlemen in this room.
Well, you know.
Anyway, the chumps today consist of Elmo, Spider Ronnie, who's hiding behind.
He's back behind the curtain again, huh?
And Wacky Wayne, and of course myself. All right, here's where we build up the real act. 262-694-1050 if anybody wants to play. We were talking about
talking to them in the microphones, guy.
Yeah, I forget sometimes.
I know.
I'm thinking I'm at Amen Corner, and I'm just
talking to everybody in the room.
And nobody's listening there.
Right?
Either,
yeah.
so.
No.
We're going to enter our piano, and it.
You were talking about that, yeah.
Look at him. What is he doing?
I don't know. It's better that I don't look. Better that
Keyed
I don't
up.
know.
It's a Kenosha Public Art Project, and apparently they've got 12 pianos, and they're going to put them out starting next week. And you know where they're going to put one? In Union Park, right across from Pete's.
Uh-oh.
So we're going to have to take our Kenosha Today pianist, and that would be, of course, Cy Costable.
Right.
And, we'll have to prop him up like a weekend at Bernie's and get him over there.
That's pretty normal.
And I don't know where they're going to put this in the park over there. She's right by the swing set, or...
Your guess is
No,
as
they have
good as
that
mine.
sculpture out there with a fan in it and stuff. The big metal sculpture.
Well, we got to get out there with Cy and well, you play the piano.
I try.
Tickle the ivories. We'll have our ivories tickled out there, and then we have to talk to our boys at the yacht club and get the our own version over, or get it over by the dumpster over there.
I do still have the potty piano, so
okay.
Dr. Trixie gave it back to me. She was not
uh,
amused by the joke when I put it in her house.
You put it in her house?
Yeah.
Well, some gals just don't have a sense of humor.
I
these
know.
days. You know what I'm talking about? You put a little potty piano in her, and she got steamed at you. Boy.
Well, she didn't know it. She didn't know where it came from.
It's probably
She
because
blamed
somebody
it on
was in her
somebody
house.
else.
Yeah.
Well, that's like regifting.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
See, the thing of it is what Elmo didn't say is that he doesn't actually have a key to Dr. Trixie's house. She was a
Actually,
little
I
mad.
do.
She was a little mad that somebody broke in and left a
He took the sledgehammer. What was the difference? You know, somebody wrote in this guy's name, Matt Glomman. I think I pronounced it right. You know, the city in downtown Kenosha, when they did all that redoing of 6th Avenue, they took all the bicycle racks out.
Okay.
This guy's got a very good point.
Jay needs them.
Oh, yeah, instead of, we have a Jay, not his real name, who, before the bike racks came in, because, in fact, it was because of him that they put the bike racks in, he came out of one of the local establishments, and he had it chained to a telephone post.
Yeah.
And when he came out, the back wheel was gone.
Because he didn't chain up the back wheel.
Yeah. Somebody just stole the back wheel, and so our friend Jay, not his real name,
right,
lives in Pleasant Prairie, and so he gets on the bike, and he gets up around Library Park, and he figured out he didn't have a wheel on the back. But I think bringing back bike racks, as they had about three or four in there.
Our fine sponsor, Pete's Union Park Tavern, has a bike rack in front of their place.
They put it there? Or?
Yep, they put it there. Yep.
Well, see, that's community involvement. That's what we do. Speaking of community involvement, Grill Games has been renamed Bands, Brew, and Barbecue. August 24th to the 26th. Used to be called Grill Games. I don't know why they changed it, but I guess Frank Carmichael and Happenings Magazine has joined forces with the Kenosha Area Chamber. Well, when you get Frank on board, that's got to ramp it up a bit.
I'm guessing they changed it maybe because of a copyright infringement or something like that.
That could be. Well, it only took them four years to figure that out.
Yep.
Okay, so nobody wants to be in violation of any laws in this town.
You get a cease and desist letter? Okay, that's all right.
Get snotty articles in the paper about you? Yeah. So anyway, I compliment Frank for getting on board that, and that's always a great event. There's always something going on in this community every single weekend from now on. And plus you got all the church festival circuit to go to.
Yeah, the signs are out already.
Yeah. I think they have about St. Mary's. I don't know if St. Mark's still has one. I think they do.
Mount Carmel's the first one.
And right after the second week of July. Of course, then we got the big parades coming up. We got the 4th of July parade. We're going to get in the 4th of July parade.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're in Bristol Progress Days. That's the weekend after. And we've got candy ready to throw out, and we have our staff ready to...
You're
our
prepared.
Buddy, K-Dog,
Yeah.
he gives 3 snot-nosed little kids one piece of Tootsie Roll last year.
Right.
Now,
he cuts each Tootsie Roll into thirds.
he tells them, the kids are crying,
Right.
and he says, now, if you use this as a learning experience, and the rest of us are just thrown out.
Right. He's conserving candy, maybe. K-Dog's a big fan of candy. He wanted to keep some for himself.
Hey, we got to give him kudos for, it was in the paper, Modine, $17.6 million profit, all due to K-Dog.
Yeah.
So,
and they
selling those greenhouse heaters for growing pot out in California. That's what he's doing. So,
His boss says his territory's up $5 million. And being a good marketing, he says, yeah, it's all me. He says, no, I don't have a clue. So K-Dog's been reassigned to a new Modine thing in Afghanistan. So, we won't be hearing from him.
Probably not for a while, yeah.
Well, he's going to retire, apparently.
Yeah.
He's talking to his boss, and he's telling his boss that he's going to retire probably at the end of the year. His boss says, are you kidding me? I thought you retired 2 years ago.
We never see you here.
Never see you here. Yeah, they saw him on, they got the security cameras. So when he walks out the door, he's got his wristwatch and he's making a wave in his arm so they can see him on camera. Speaking of the national anthems, so I blended right into this.
Yeah.
The NFL has a new policy pertaining to the national anthem that they came up with this week. Players to protest during the national anthem, they have to stay in the locker room.
Yeah.
If they can't come out, and kneel. And I think that's a good policy. I mean,
Right.
the
Otherwise,
national anthem should
otherwise
be
the
respected.
team gets a fine. Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to, there's this gal that it's going to be, she's getting our high five on the high five zingers and doofuses.
Oh,
and
good. I'm
her-
glad you completed that thought. I thought you were just speaking in colorful euphemisms. There's this gal. She's getting our high five. Dirty old
I'm trying to
man.
bounce around here. I'm trying to,
Yeah, I know. Squirrel!
Yep.
Anyway, she's a student at Stoker. I'll get to that after. I don't want to give
Yeah.
away too much
No.
information. So anyway, I think that's a good, television ratings in the NFL. Surprisingly, it dipped nearly 10%.
That's right.
And I don't know if it was because of that or not, but football games are way too long, and they got to do something to speed that up.
It's all Pam Oliver's fault.
Yes, get her off of there. She is the most annoying. As long as you brought it up, Pam Oliver.
Look at him get going.
Oh, you can see that vein.
Right.
Is the most annoying person
Yeah.
on the planet when it comes to football. She knows nothing about football. She lends nothing to the game. Boy, look at the phone lines now not light up.
Yeah.
I'm on a roll from
Right.
Well, I mean, they do this in baseball. The Cubs have some news bunny, and the Brewers have some news bunny, and I guess it's.
So are you insinuating that a woman can't know anything about sports?
No, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, it's probably better that you don't.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm just saying that.
You just don't like Pam Oliver.
Bring me,
regardless of whether she knows her stuff or not, you just don't like
She
her.
don't know football.
You sure?
Remember the time when Joe Namath at halftime and was so drunk that he tried to kiss her on the cheek?
No, that wasn't.
I would hope that Joe Namath wasn't.
No, that was
yeah.
Aaron Andrews.
Aaron Andrews.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wanted to marry her too, or something.
Yeah, well, I'd marry Aaron Andrews, not in this, in the biblical sense, but I might entertain that.
You and marriage in the same sentence? I don't.
Again? You've been flirting around with this since last year when the Cubs won the World Series.
That's
and it keeps coming
50th Street
around.
Bridge.
Yeah, it
Cubs
keeps
haven't
coming
won
around.
the World Series since, have they?
There's
I
probably
showed
a-
them.
Yeah, had you gone through with the bet, they would have won. But no, renege on the bet.
I didn't renege. She didn't show up.
Uh-huh.
He or she didn't show up, whichever worked out. So anyway, we're going to take our last break here, right?
Yeah, we might as well. Give you a chance to collect your thoughts,
Collect my thoughts, both of them.
Right.
And then we get back, we will have high five zingers and doofuses. We'll be
Well, if you ask me where I come from, here's what I tell everyone. I was born by God's dear grace in an extraordinary place where the stars and stripes and the eagle fly.
We are back and heading down the home stretch on the Kenosha Today trolley ride this morning. If you just joined us, this is the May 26th edition of the Kenosha Today Weekly Report. Coming to you live and streaming worldwide and to over 1.4 million people residing in the WIP listening area. Being brought to you by our major sponsors, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery and Barter's Financial Planning Services, along with a host of many other very fine local businesses. Cast of characters this morning, Elmo Schneider.
Good morning.
And from the Galaxy Spider Dome, the Love Doctor, now known as Cabana Boy, Spider Ronnie.
Love that orange thong.
Along with our engineer board operator, Wacky Wayne, still all jacked up now that the state of Wisconsin has made roadkill season year-round.
It's about damn time.
Well, some things,
I
can't
know.
be
It took
done
a little bit of
overnight.
time. I had to think about it for a while.
Yeah, we are here
Time.
each and every Saturday morning from 10 a.m. until noon. And if you happen to miss our Saturday show, you can tune in to AM 1050 WLIP tomorrow, Sunday at noon. Listen to the replay of this morning's broadcast. And don't forget to join the Kenosha Today Nation. Like us on Facebook. Status of the Secret Word Challenge to win a copy of what you heard earlier, I Am the Flag, is still yet to be named.
I do have a clue.
Okay. Give the clue for today's secret word, Elmo.
After presiding at Amen Corner on a Friday production show, Uncle Scotty hopes he ends up here.
What? Are we
No.
looking at the same name?
I imagine this opens up the phone lines to a whole bunch of different options, none of which are appropriate. Thank you. Thank you. I don't think this is going to work well.
It's like the last time, a couple of weeks ago, when he said something and the phone lines lit up. Say that one more time.
Please don't.
Oh, is it after presiding over a highly productive production meeting at Amen Corner, Uncle Scotty usually hopes he ends up here. So,
262-6.
Oh, boy.
Like K-Dog, this ain't going to end well, I can tell you right now. And now, boys and girls, it's time for this week's special editorial segment, High Five Zingers and Doofuses.
As the tater tot turns.
Like the sands in the hourglass in the days of our lives. This week's High Five goes to the students at Stoker Elementary School who sponsored a program called Stand for Something Fair, having a number of various topics. The one I liked the best was 5th grader Mary Kinsler's display of I Stand for the National Anthem. While we certainly respect everyone's right to the freedom of speech, I was very touched by Mary's sense of patriotism and her respect for the American flag and its anthem. Coming during this Memorial Day weekend when we honor all our veterans who have paid the ultimate sacrifices so that we may enjoy these freedoms each and every day of the year. To the students at Stoker Elementary and Mary Kinsler, we also salute you. This week's zinger goes to We Energies for proposing a 49-mile natural gas line from near Whitewater to Foxconn here in Mount Pleasant. To that we say, poppycock.
Why not?
I am not opposed to progress. However, this project will affect some 200 Kenosha County properties, and having We Energies ask the ratepayers, that's us, to cover the $180 million cost is starting to make my hair hurt. This comes at a time of the already $3 billion, on top of the already $3 billion that the state of Wisconsin is providing Foxconn. In my view, that maybe it's time to put these brakes on this deal, and maybe we sort out all these details. Otherwise, the next thing you know, we'll be extending the trolley out to Foxconn. But then again, that would only cost $125 million. Besides, what's a few million amongst friends? This week's doofus goes to He Loves Me, He Loves Me Not. He loves me, maybe he loves me not. Well, it looks like the short romance between President Donald Trump and the Tweeter Trump, President Donald the Tweeter Trump, and the North Korean President One Dumb Chump is on the rocks. That probably doesn't help national relations.
It's all about the hair.
With the tweetster canceling next month's meeting in Singapore, claiming that North Korea had reneged on its promises. This couldn't have come at a worse time for these two superpowers. I mean, I was so forward, like Elmo says, to both these guys getting the 2-for-1 discount on haircuts. Forget the nuclear weapons. Just being able to see Trump and the rocket boy holding hands as their locks fell to the ground would have made it all worthwhile. And there you have it, folks. As the
Tater tot turn
for this Saturday, May 26th, 2018, I'm Scotty Barton, and I approve this message. All right, getting back to this, I got to mention KRS Painting Corporation. Anybody want to still play Stump the Chumps? We'll still go along with that deal if you want. 262-694-1050. You know, we were talking earlier about patriotism, and I'd like to hear some of our callers' views, and if you think patriotism has waned since, gotten less since 9/11. I know it was really almost non-existent until that time, and it took 9/11 and 3,000 people and all of that to renew that, but it seems like one of our callers said it has kind of fizzled out a little bit. But
well, one of the biggest problems is they're no longer teaching American history or the Constitution in the schools. So
is that right?
Yep.
Why is that? Are you kidding me?
No, that's what's the biggest problem. Kids don't understand where the stuff came from.
Well, how un-American is that? You have to teach American history. I mean, I was right there with George Washington back in the day. How can they not
crossing
learn
the Delaware?
Yeah, I was the guy rowing a boat. He's standing up there looking like a big...
They say right now half the people in the United States can't name the 3 branches of government or why they are that way.
You know, I don't know how we got so far out of that. I was not aware of that, Elmo.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody has a comment on that, 262-694-1050. How in the world can you try to be an American if you don't know anything about the history of where we came from and, you know, the revolutionary, starting at the Revolutionary War with George to Washington and Jefferson and that group.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to Abraham Lincoln and the Civil War. You know, it's a wonder why we have race problems. Nobody seems to understand anything.
Nope.
And when did that happen? You know what? What are we offering instead? Basket weaving? So kids can graduate easy?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, God, that's... If you thought I had an issue with Pam Oliver, now I'm having an issue with the curriculum. And if anybody in the school board's listening, you better call me because I want to know why we're not teaching American history anymore. And I'm at a loss. I was not aware of that.
They have social studies now. It's no longer history.
Well, we used to say, I recall having social studies, but it was, I don't know, we also had, when I went to Lance, in fact, I was sitting in it was called American Government, I thought, because I remember when John Kennedy got shot at 1 o'clock or 1:10 on that afternoon in 1963. I thought it was something similar. It wasn't called social studies, but it was...
we had civics was the other thing. We had to actually
civics, maybe that's
civics.
yeah.
Yep.
Remember the weekly reader?
Yeah, they've replaced it with the weekly reader. You talk about a society dumbing down. I don't think they have the weekly reader anymore. Although I did get a couple A's in that class.
In
Only
weekly
because
reader?
When I was in the color crayon section, I was one of the very few that could stay in the lines. So I copied next to the girl next to me. She was sweet on me. So Stump the Chumps. We have to get our piano and going back over here. Try to get out and get a Memorial Day visit one of the Memorial Day ceremonies. I'm sure our friends Bob Wirtz will be out there.
Yep.
Let me look at the lineup and see which one's going to have the free spaghetti dinner. Let's see. Probably at noon. You'll be over the VFW. They'll probably have a free dinner. Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
This is Wally down in Tobin.
Yeah.
How you guys doing today?
Good.
You guys talking about the three different branches of government.
Yeah.
They don't exist anymore. You got the executive, you got legislative, and you got judicial, right?
Correct.
That's the way I grew up.
Yeah, right.
Now, how can the executive guy have anything to do with telling somebody that they don't have a job anymore in the judicial department? They should be separate, period.
Well, he's the president. Doesn't the Constitution give the president? I'm asking. I'm not debating. I'm asking. Does the president not have that kind of power?
He's the executive branch of the government, and they're supposed to be kept separate.
Do you want to be the one to tell Trump, or should we just send him an email? I'm being cute, Wally, but you're right.
That really made a lot of sense. That he sent a formal letter to.
Are you talking about Trump firing James Comey? Is that what you're referring to?
Well, he sent a formal letter to the guy in Korea.
Yeah.
But everybody heard about everybody else's firing and his disillusionment with over Twitter.
Yeah.
Losing their jobs.
You know, you bring up a very excellent point, I think. He was supposed to be... He seemed like... you think it's just this president, or have other presidents tried to use this... obviously, he's a different president than we've ever had, Trump that being...
He's definitely a different president, but he's got a new avenue to cut around the corners. You don't have to go to the stop sign and turn.
Well,
he can cut through the alley.
How does he get away with it, do you think?
He just cuts through the alley, so nobody catches him at the corner.
And nobody seems to care? Nobody wants to challenge him? Or so suppose for the moment, Wally, let's say the Democrats regain control.
I don't much care what are Democrats, Republicans, or whatever.
Okay.
Why don't eight guys from Congress, right off the third, just random 8 or 12, just get in a room and settle something.
That would be too
simple. Rather than this committee and that committee, and then some committee's got 100 people on them. So you can't get anything done that way.
Do you ever watch any of those committee meetings on C-SPAN? I think they're on C-SPAN.
Just a little bit.
And do you find that I watch some of this when they have these
frustrating?
Yeah, it seems like who's the guy they were trying to just recently? They were trying to confirm. I forget, Elmo. Was it an FBI guy?
Well, the woman that's head of the CIA.
Yeah. Some of these people, you know, they get 4 minutes, I believe, and
you got one guy that's got something against him or her or anybody, and he just won't shut up and won't shut up, and he won't let somebody else talk when they get time to.
Well, they get 4 minutes, I believe it is. And
you believe that? You believe that, don't you?
well, it's supposed to, okay. And they don't use it. They don't even ask in a question. They just use it as making a statement.
They just bloviate.
Bloviate. That's what. But you're right. They're supposed to have a 4 minute.
What did they do? What did they do?
Well, they just BS.
Bloviate. They just go on and on and on until they're foaming at the mouth and falling over backwards.
I thought you said flatulate.
Close enough.
That's not the secret word, Wally, but it's close. No. Anyway, you bring up some good...
Might as well be.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, with this president, I don't see anything changing. He's in control, and if you blink and you don't like him, I mean, your history. Look at every.
Then you get blinked off.
Yes.
Good point there, Wally. All right, you want to take one shot at the secret word?
No.
Okay.
No.
Why do I want to bother with you guys anyhow?
You what?
Why do I want to bother with you guys anyhow?
Well, that's a good question. You have a good
called
answer.
in.
You called us.
Yeah, but I'm on my way home from work.
Oh, okay.
I ain't got nothing better to do.
Well, there you go, Wally.
Talk to you guys.
Have a great weekend.
All right. Later.
Have a great weekend. Nothing better to do. I thought everybody's hanging on every word, just sitting by the phone.
Right.
Every Saturday morning, just waiting to dial in here.
Right.
Well, we got just a couple minutes left if anybody wants to make a comment on... I would really like to hear some comments from a school board member on why we aren't teaching American history to our kids, and when did that stop? I mean, we have all these fancy, high-paid people sitting over at that office on 52nd Street with big fancy titles, making a lot of money, and that's the best they can come up with is illuminating American history? Boy.
Well,
Well,
all the finance that comes down from the state and the Fed is all tied to math and English.
Yeah, but
so learning about American history isn't high on the list of things to worry about when you're worried about where the money's coming from to keep the school going.
Well, I think
at least that's the way it looks.
I disagree, and I'm going to look into this before next week. Why we're not teaching American? What was the other? The Constitution.
Yeah.
Why we're not teaching those things? That's as basic as 1 and 1 is 3.
Right. 2 + 2 = chair. Got it.
And we want. And you'd probably be an honor roll student.
Oh, straight A's with that kind of thinking.
But I just don't get it. And how in the world, now I understand why patriotism, and now I even applaud this gal from Stoker, the 5th grader, even more so that she was dressed in a little flag costume and a dress and socks, and she's only in 5th grade. She did it on her own.
Yeah.
But no wonder patriotism and race relationships are so bad in this country. I don't usually get off on these tangents, but
are you sure?
A tangent?
I'm pretty sure you're good at the tangents.
All right, so I mentioned Pam Oliver one time. Right. I'm done with her.
Until next week.
I hope Pete brings something to the table in a snappy song. He's prepped.
Like he's getting something together.
He's planning on coming to a production meeting. Yeah, a briefcase, maybe his own headphones.
A clipboard full of ideas and notes. Yeah. Oh, boy.
I wonder what we do with those.
55-gallon drum in the trunk. Okay.
Pete. Let's see. What else did we talk about before we got on? It's finally the weather is, everybody's been so depressed about the weather. Hey, I brought up this pipeline, and you think this is a good idea? To let We Energies?
Progress. It's in it, like pipeline may cut through county. It's barely skirting the county. What the?
Well, still 49 miles worth at a cost of between 175 and 180 million, of which the tax or the I guess the what do you call the rate?
Yeah, but they'll make it back selling gas. What the heck?
Yeah,
it wasn't going to be, if they weren't going to make money on it, they wouldn't be doing it.
Well, I understand that. But it's all for Foxconn. When have they ever done this for anybody else? The more I'm reading about this, I'm not.
By the time they get that building built and up and running, you think they'll have something better than the plasma screen?
Well, they have a big R&D department.
Say, boys, can I bother you to take this call?
All right.
All right.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Good
Good morning.
Good morning. Who's this?
I got two comments.
Is this George?
George from Kenosha.
Yeah, all right, George, go ahead.
Number one, that gas line is a bad idea because everybody who is a doggone customer of We Energies is going to pay for it.
Okay.
And number two, I think our president and Governor Scott